Hey everybody, it's Jason Andrew Wrobel here from jasonwrobel.com. That's Jason W-R-O-B as in baby, E-L.com. Today I'm going to be doing a little something if you have some leftovers in the house. Now, especially there are some times we make recipes and we got a little extra something we put in the container in the fridge. And it's like, what do we do with the leftovers? Well, today I'm going to be doing a vegan roasted vegetable pasta with some really great vegetables, some gluten-free pasta, really high in protein, really delicious and nutritious, and an idea for you of what to do with those leftovers in the fridge. So let's get started and get our chop on. So the first thing we gotta do, we gotta chop some veggies. We gotta put some forearm grease into it. So we're gonna start with 1 cup of organic butternut squash. Then we're gonna chop up 1 cup of a potato. In this case, you could use a Yukon Gold, you could use red potatoes, or a good old Idaho potato. And then also 1 cup of red onion. So let's get working, shall we? Okay, so now that we've chopped it like it's hot, we got all of our red onions, our butternut squash, and our potatoes chopped up. The next thing we gotta do is drizzle it with a little bit of olive oil. If you guys wanted to use grapeseed oil or coconut oil, that would be fine depending on the flavor you want to infuse. So we're gonna drizzle it and sprinkle it with a little bit of Himalayan salt and black pepper for taste. So the thing we wanna do is just really be kind of judicious here. You don't need a ton of oil, just enough to really get a nice even coverage and make sure that everyone's gonna be happy playing in the pool, if you know what I mean. A little tiny sprinkle of Himalayan salt for extra minerals and that nice salt balance as well. And then a little bit of ground black pepper. Salt and pepper's here and we're in effect. Want you to cook it bad, grooving by day and at night, working up a sweat in the kitchen. Okay, so what I like to do is just mix it with my hands a little bit and then take it over to the oven. Okay, so we've got the oven preheated to 425 degrees, and we're gonna cook this between 25 and 35 minutes, depending on how cooked through you want your veggies. What I look for, as you'll see, is just a little bit of golden brown around the edges. The onions will cook down a little faster than the butternut and the potato, so keep an eye on it, okay? Let's go visit the oven. Okay, so before we get to the other steps of the recipe, one note I want to make about the roasted veggies is about halfway through you want to take out the pan and just flip them to make sure they get a nice even roast on both sides. Check it out. Okay, so while the last few minutes of those veggies are roasting off in the oven, we want to cook 8 ounces of pasta. In this case, I'm doing an ancient grain fusilli. Fusilli! It's by True Roots. It's made with amaranth, a little bit of quinoa and brown rice. So we've got some water boiling already. We're gonna boil this for about 6 to 8 minutes until al dente. So step 3, while the veggies are getting roasted off in the last few minutes and the pasta is getting cooked, we're going to saute lightly a little bit of cherry tomatoes, about 1 cup, with a little bit of garlic and a little bit of salt. And then we're gonna combine everything in a few minutes, so hang tight. So over a medium heat, what you want to do is just take about a tablespoon of olive oil and then about 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. Okay, so the garlic is going, sauteing for about 2 minutes or so, and then you want to go ahead and add your 1 cup of cherry tomatoes. While the tomatoes and the garlic are cooking down for just a few minutes, we want to go ahead and give our pasta a stir. Now, adding a little bit of salt to your boiling water will help prevent the pasta, especially gluten-free pasta, from sticking together too much. Now, while all this action is happening, I do believe it's time to check on our roasted veggies one last time. Oh yeah, that's the action we're going for. Yeah, a little bit of brownage. Oh yeah, that's gonna taste amazing. So now that our tomatoes are cooked down a little bit, we don't wanna overcook the garlic and tomatoes. I actually like to take the roasted root veggies and add them to my pan just to get them ready for the pasta, which is coming in a few minutes. So go ahead and grab your roasted root vegetables. Perfect. Reduce the heat to low and let this magical melange of flavors just mingle a little bit while the pasta is getting al dente. Now, what you want to do is run over to the sink real quick, drain off the liquid from the pasta, run back full speed back to the range top here and add the pasta to the veggies. So let me go drain it off and I'll be back in a second with the pasta and add it to the mix. This would ideally be, again, as I said in the beginning, a leftovers recipe. You've got some random grilled veggies hanging around, maybe from some kebabs, whatever you might have been doing. You can always cut up some cherry tomatoes, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of pepper, mix it with pasta, and you've got a quick and easy lunch. We're gonna finish by plating it up with a little bit of basil and balsamic vinegar. Let's go. So you just gotta grab your saute pan and then find your two prettiest bowls and ladle a nice heaping amount of this gorgeous pasta. And what I like to do right now is just drizzle it with a little splash of balsamic vinegar, just for that kind of sweet, tart flavor undertone. And now, for chiffonading of basil. Yes, we're gonna chiffonade some fresh organic basil. The easiest way to do this is to find some pretty similarly sized leaves and lay them all on top of one another, kind of stacking the leaves of the basil. Then I'm gonna show you on the cutting board how to roll this up and chiffonade cut them. Check it out. So what I'm doing here, guys, is you see I've rolled up the basil really tight, and I'm doing very, very thin, lengthwise strips. That's the definition of a chiffonade. So now what I like to do is divide my basil in half and just sprinkle those beautiful, thin, chiffonaded strips right on top, like so. The final step, we're gonna finish with a little bit of black pepper and just a little sprinkle of chipotle seasoning. Whew, okay, now, there's only one thing left to do. You gotta take it to the face. So that is the better Instagram-worthy version, yes, with the blue. So we're gonna leave the Instagram model alone. We're gonna go to Old Yellow here and get a nice spoonful. Try and getting everything. That's probably the only challenge in enjoying here, is getting everything on one forkful. Mmm. That's amazing. Mmm. You have the sweetness of the butternut squash and the balsamic, the earthiness of the potatoes and the red onions, the freshness and the pop of those organic cherry tomatoes, the chiffonaded basil, sweet olive oil. This is so well balanced. It's the perfect way for you guys to utilize your leftovers or maybe any random vegetables you have laying around the house. In fact, if you dug this video, give me a big fat thumbs up, give me a like, and leave me a comment below. What's your favorite thing to do with random leftovers? You know, maybe you've got some old pizza, some pasta, some veggies, some fruit, something that's been hanging around, you don't quite know what to do with it. I'd love to hear your creative ideas on what to do with those leftovers. Okay, so I've got more pasta than I know what to do with, although I think I have an idea of what to do with it. Put it in my belly right now. So guys, thank you so much. This is Jason Wrobel from jasonwrobel.com. That's Jason, W-R-O-B as in baby, E-L.com. Thanks so much for checking out my YouTube channel. Stay tuned for more amazing vegan and superfood recipes and health tips. I'm gonna bust out of here and fill my belly with this great gluten-free roasted vegetable pasta. I'll see you guys on the flip side soon, okay? Peaches.